Hi, welcome back. This is day 15 of the challenge I set myself to be imperfect online and to not have any worries or neuroses about anything, and to challenge myself to become comfortable being myself and using my authentic voice in public online. Which has been something that had been too challenging for me earlier in my life. So today being day 15, I actually feel like I'm ready to conclude this series. It doesn't mean I won't post anything in future, although I do want to. It might feel a bit different. It might be a different feel, format, something like I don't know yet. I'm going to take my time and if I want to, or I might be ready to post soon, and be creative and find my flow in this new way. But I wanted to close out this chapter with you, this little series, especially for anyone who's followed along live and seen me pushing myself out there and then being a bit braver and being more personal and just having the confidence and getting used to the feeling of continually having an external expression that goes on online for whoever needs to hear the message and whoever resonates with me, and just finding each other and attracting people with a similar heart, mindset, whatever you want, wherever place it comes from, whatever you want to call it. And I really thank you for being here. I know there wasn't many of you watching kind of live along with when I was filming, and there might be some people watching this series years later or something, I don't know, who've kind of seen each day that I've done this and how I've hopefully grown. I'm hoping you feel some progression in this. I know it's not that long. It's 2 weeks basically. I did it spread across 3 weeks, but it's 2 weeks of days, so 15 days. Well, 14 is 2 weeks. I know that, but 15. This is my conclusion, I think, today. So I really thank you all for being there with me and having the support, the views, the beautiful feedback in the comments has encouraged me not to be afraid to keep doing this and to bring myself and feel safe and supported out in this part of the world, as well as my home life, my relationships and everything in the physical world, I guess, the not on the internet bit of my world. And I really thank you for coming along. And I know there weren't many of us in the initial bit, and depending on when you're watching this, there might be more people now. But at the time I'm filming this, I have 10 subscribers and 300 and something views of my 2 weeks of videos. Which, for me it feels like loads, but when you look at other YouTubers around the YouTube sphere, there's like people with millions of followers and views and everything, which I know they've built up over a long time, but like the quantity of 10 subscribers and 300 something views feels like a little proportion of all of the YouTube activity, but for me it's loads more than I had 0 and 0. So it feels like loads to happen in 2 weeks, and it's especially touching for me because I'm putting out what I'm feeling and going through really and authentically, and I'm not kind of like writing a script and designing a thing and that kind of thing. I'm putting my heart out there, so it's more special that I've met people. If you can say met, I feel like we've met on an energetic level, even if not a physical level, and I've met lovely people through this. And just because you haven't commented as well, if you haven't, it doesn't mean I don't appreciate you as well, because obviously the comments give me insight into the kind of people who are there and how they're taking it. But even when I don't have that insight, when you're not commenting, I still appreciate. If you're watching, then you must resonate a certain amount, and that's really nice for me, especially as a lot of parts of my, and different times of my life and different areas of my life, I felt like sometimes people find me harder to understand. Oh, I just saw a lovely flying orb over the screen then. I don't know if you spotted that. That was nice. I've been seeing a few roundabout recently, and near my cats as well, which is really nice. Anyway, digressed a little there. It was just, I was like, oh. Yeah, so in other areas of my life at different times, potentially I've felt like people don't know where I've got that from or where I'm coming from, and I've thought about things in a way that they maybe wouldn't have, or I feel a different way to them, and to have even one view or one subscriber or one comment or any other way you can interact on YouTube feels like I've connected with somebody on this level outside of the physical and in the internet sphere, in the way I would like to more and more in my life, and attract more and more people who can follow me. Like, oh, follow me as well on YouTube, but follow, understand me, and perhaps in this little friendly community that is starting to develop on this YouTube channel, we can create a bit of dialogue back and forth and support each other. So I feel supported, but I'm hoping that I'm providing something that might be supporting you. Or I hope it will be supporting you, not might, but I hope it will, and it might be. And I hope there can be a bit of a back and forth, not just with what I put there, but with in the comments and however, and just the energy that people put out to the videos when they're watching, that to each other send the best vibes, and you choose what you might send. But you know, coming from love and not from fear or hate or anything on the other end of that spectrum. Yeah, so thank you to people who've been here live or joined along with me later in time. Time is a very earthly thing, but really everyone who will ever watch this, we're kind of together now in energy already. So thank you. It's helped me in my healing of my online persona and in my practice of self-expression in a really authentic way, and not self-editing, and not and also not judging what I think people would take, and just communicating clearly and not like intercepting myself with judgments of things that might not be true and possibly aren't correct, and just putting everything out there for whoever wants to receive it. So thank you. And I do have lots of ideas for other videos I might put out. I'm not going to be pushing myself or anything, and I do have other off YouTube projects that I'm doing or wanting to start, so which might come into a video at some point. Yeah, I do have ideas, and I'll be around still, and I'm not stopping. I just wanted to do something that felt like a clear ending of this series, rather than it kind of drifting into nowhere and then my other videos coming up and it being a bit random. And I think it didn't need to go on any longer, so thank you for bringing me to this point, or coming here to this point with me, and helping me feel like I can do that, and I'll enjoy it and feel safe and all the things that I wanted from it as well. and a while back I made these cards. I'm not sure what I would call them. I had mentioned them in a video a long time ago, like one of my really early basic videos, and the backs of them are all different watercolour pinks and blues, which was really fun to do. And if you want to do something like this for yourself, I would recommend it. And that's the kind of, I guess that's the back, and then on the main side there's different messages that I just thought of while I was doing it, and some of them have been slightly edited over 2 years almost. I think I've had these because I used these water-based aqua brush pens, so I can wash it off and put on a new message if I want. And I love calligraphy, so they have a calligraphy end and a another they have a calligraphy end and a fine liner end, so I can do like calligraphy in smaller messages or whatever I want to do with them. There might be better ones. I think I did actually get those from an art shop, but there might be better ones than those. I'm not like plugging them, but if you are interested, my ones are Lyra, and there's loads of different colours. I've discovered though, when I want to use a purple, they don't have a purple in the set that I got. But yeah, you might be able to find some like that. But anyway, these cards I have used at times when I am struggling to tap into my real inner self, and they have helped me figure out what I might want to do with my day, or how to take a next step in something, or whether I should let something go, anything like that. You could ask any question to these cards, and in here somewhere, I think there's like 90 of them, so there's quite a few different messages. So somewhere in here would be the right answer for whatever we might want to ask. But I wanted to ask a question, and you could ask your own question if you want. Actually, let's do a couple. So if I'm just shuffling these, if you can hear a sound, I can't really do it on the screen, but I'm doing, well, maybe I can, I'm doing this. It's easier to do against the table. I've ruined my lighting now. It'll be gone a bit darker now. And so I wanted to ask, while I mix these, I'm going to think about my question. And my question is, what last information for this series might be pertinent for us to have? What should me, myself, and the viewers of this series of the Imperfection Challenge benefit from hearing in our conclusion of what energy is moved in these 15 days, what processes have happened for me, for you, for anyone who's ever watched these, so it doesn't have to be anyone who's watched before the time I'm filming this, but anyone who's watched at any time, and what final conclusion message in relation to this series might we benefit from, any last information from this series. So I'm going to shuffle them like this, do it a bit higher, and then you can kind of see me doing it a bit better. There we go. So what last information in the conclusion of the Imperfection Challenge might we all benefit from? It says, let me see if I can help with the light bit. It says, love fosters love. And it's a lovely pink and orange. Around the edges it says, I love my life, I am loved, I love myself, I choose love over fear, I enjoy love, I see love, I am love, and I accept love. That's so nice. Let me see if I bring it past this light. And maybe you can see better. I know I didn't hold it there for long, but you can always pause the video and glance at what that was. That was so nice. So I'm just going to have another shuffle. We'll get a few, maybe. Any last conclusions from this imperfection challenge? I've got some. Oh, lovely. It says, ooh, welcome in the light of the universal love. Now that's nice. You definitely have a love and light theme. And underneath welcome in the light was eat fruit. So I think that's you know, you can obviously take that literally, but you can also read it as taking in nourishment, vitamins, hydration as well, because fruit has a lot of juice. But yeah, nourishing, taking in colour, vitamins, things that are good for you. And it sort of relates a bit to when I've spoken about my vegan ways as well, I guess. Well, fruit is vegan. Well, we got two in that shuffle. I'll just do a third shuffle. Any last information that anyone here might benefit from in the conclusion of this series of the Imperfection Challenge? There's nothing coming at the moment, but I'm just going to do a little bit more. Any last messages you can give me? Anything for this collective who followed along in this journey? My lovely guides, the lovely spirit who's, oh, that's too many, that's about to jump out. Lovely spirit who supports us all, who we are a part of, and who is within us as well. Any last messages? I don't think there is. I think we're going to leave it there because well, maybe one more. The last messages. Don't chuck loads out at me. Okay, quite a few have fallen out. I'm just going to move those again. Show me what you want me to put on the screen. Conclusions and messages. No, okay, that's it. That's it for us. But we have the themes: love, light, fruit. Fruit is a really high vibe as well. It is a really, if you're living in the light, you'll want to, I mean, I eat so much fruit. And veggies and natural foods. And organic if you can, because it has the most nourishment. Yeah, the fruit ties in with the love and light for me as well. It's a very high vibe, high energy, kind of higher energy food that you're taking in. At least compared to some of the other things that we can't eat. I won't go into those, but yeah, that's really beautiful. So I was going to also ask if you want to ask a question here, or if you just want to think of or ask something like, what has been your personal message that you've received from watching this series, or even just this video if you haven't watched others in the Imperfection Challenge. What your personal answer might be, and I'll pull a few for these as well. Yeah, I'll leave those ones out, I think. I won't put them back in the pile. And if you have another question, burning question, related or unrelated, maybe you could ask it and we'll see if Spirit can provide something that's useful for you. If it doesn't resonate though, don't take it. But there's not many people watching at this time, so you might get something that relates to you properly. It depends if loads of people somehow find this at a later date. I mean, it might happen, of course. I'm not going to rule this out. If there are loads of people, it doesn't mean your message is not for you. It just means I might have to generalise more if there's a lot more people. But, okay, so while I'm shuffling, if you watch me shuffle and you focus on your question, and I'm going to focus on what do you watching need to know. What's your conclusion from this experience? And you keep focusing on your thing, whether it's related or not to what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of my audience. You can say your question out loud or in your head, by the way. They know whether you don't need to say it out loud for them to know. Ooh. I'm not sure. I mean, that says peace. Let me just... If it wants to come out, it'll come out anyway, so... Oh, God, crikey. Loads came out. Ah! Nice. That says, be honest. Oh, it's a bit... Yeah. Be honest and authentic you. That's nice. There's a whole chunk. I'll just read them. Why not? Oh. Share my story. Share my story. Kind and sweet. Wonder. I'm going to read the little words. You can't see them very well. So they say browse, journey, nature, outside, and movement. Browse, journey, nature, outside, movement. There was another word here that's washed off. I must have had a bit of a... I think it's because I took these to the seaside once and they got a bit wet. Rise above it. So underneath that. Renewal. Clean your space. So that might not necessarily be literal physical things, but it might also be clean your energetic area, which you can do with you could use I know people like sage or Palo Santo. I don't use sage because it gets rid of every energy. I've got it here, Palo Santo, because it supposedly takes away negative energies but not positive ones. But I think you can use rosemary, all sorts of things. That would be a type of smudging. But you could use Reiki, craniosacral therapy, other things I mentioned here, sound healing. You'll find what resonates. Oh, I'm a water sign, so I love just having a shower, but or even just washing my face or my hands as well. As I'm doing it, I'm imagining all of the negative energy gone. Lovely. Even standing by running water, for me, that helps. Even a little stream, but preferably a river or a waterfall. Feels amazing for me. So yeah, clean your space, renewal, and then simple movement. We've got movement again. So it says enjoy energy movement. And then in big letters, simple movement, and then underneath the suggestions, Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, stretch, walk, swing arms, shake legs, and massage. If you self-massage, it is movement. But it's energy movement if you're not moving yourself still. So there's still a type of movement. That's interesting. You might be able to read those really little words. And we have tidy and declutter, material and spiritual release. So that's actually quite similar to the clean your space. But yeah, it's release some stuff. Release whether it's material or spiritual. And have courage. Have courage. Excellent. Excellent. A lot came out. I was going to do a few shuffles, but we already had a lot. But I said I'll do some more because I said you can if you have your answer and you're happy, you can leave the video. But if you have another question or you want to clarify deeper into something, which bit was for you maybe or whatever, I'll just do a bit more shuffling. We'll see what comes up. Oh, that one maybe want it to come out. Let's see, wow, another. Okay, well, you guys know what you're asking. So the first pile, nice, Namaste, and Namaste is a greeting, like hello and I hope you're having a good day kind of thing. In different parts of India, I don't know, is it Sanskrit? I can't remember, but it's a Sanskrit origin. But the meaning in yoga, which I've written underneath, is I am in union with the universe. I see the light and power in life, and the universe recognizes and thanks the light in me. That's really nice. It's really nice. You might want to write that down if you might already know all this. Might just be a reminder, but yeah. I wonder if you can, if you pause it wherever you can see it, or you can play it back and listen to me say it again if you want. Then underneath Namaste was accept, with a little heart there, a little burst, accept. And the next lot that, oh no, that was with this one as well. Be yourself. Be yourself. And the small writing says, I am the loved one. I am myself. I love my heart. I love my soul. That's really nice. I must have been so inspired when I wrote these. I'm really happy with them. I haven't used them for a while actually. And there was a second batch that came out. So those are, look at the sky. Look at the sky. So you can do that literally when you're out on a walk or whatever. But you could take that as a bit of a metaphor for upwards. So whatever feels right for you to resonate. Oh, sing! I think I've mentioned that I like singing. I get a lot of enjoyment from singing in my Imperfection challenge. I've said that. I haven't actually done much singing in a while, but I am a member of a choir they're just wrapping up because the leader is doing some other projects. But the choir is called Cosmic Choir, and it's run by Gaia Sanskrit. She has a great YouTube channel. And that particular choir we've been singing in Sanskrit. It's funny because I just mentioned it with Namaste and I wasn't actually even sure if that was a Sanskrit word, but I've learned a little bit of Sanskrit, which is a really a beautiful, really old sacred language, and it has an origin from so long ago. It's really beautiful to connect into that. So that's the version of singing I've been doing, but I've been in lots of other pop choir, rock choir types, musicals, singing musicals. It depends if you want to sing. If this is your answer, yes, sing. Depends what floats your boat, what you feel like. But you can just sing in the shower and just enjoy yourself that way. You don't have to have lessons or go to a group or go to the church choir or whatever choir. This one, it was upside down. The next one is speak honestly. Speak honestly. That just feels really nice. You don't have to be fake when you're over on my channel. And take a break. Oh, that's nice. I love taking a break. I love taking a break. So when we do take a break, it helps us have a bit of space to come back in and not be doing, and just be for a bit. And it allows space to take stock of all these things that you have been doing and how they went and how you felt about them and what works for you and what doesn't work for you and things like that. Sometimes doing nothing, just being and taking a break is exactly what we need to be able to move forward and to be able to take all of these things we've been doing, how to use them to carve out something even better, that suits us better, that provides for us better, however you may be, whatever you need at your time, whatever direction you're growing in. So I had a little tickle. I've been cuddling my cats and I get coated in fluff and I get a little tickle. It's because it's bad weather today. They're in a lot, so I've had to spend a bit more time with them because they get bored and they can't play outside. So I've had loads of cat snuggles, which is lovely for me as well. And they're in. Okay. Take a break and do it. This will be coming up maybe because someone is overdue a little break, if you're like me. And slow down. So yeah, that kind of comes along with the take a break, and I'll just read the small bit out from here. So I've listed the seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter, and underneath there is a reason for every season. There's another little... How many orbs are there today? They're everywhere. They're all over the screen. There is a reason for every season. So obviously we know the seasons, and you might live in a part of the world where you kind of just have 2 seasons, or kind of like 1 season for a lot of the year and then a little bit of another one. But you have the understanding the concept of 4 seasons. I live in the UK, so I really see all the seasons. It's really, really changeable weather here. Our climate's up and down. So, but you'll understand the seasons. And at the time of filming this, we're in spring, which is the rebirth, and all the colours and all the greens come out again. Everything's turning lush and green, and the rest period of winter, where everything might appear like it might be dying. It doesn't have leaves or whatever, and all the animals are in hibernation. Everything's quieter. It might appear like there's not much life there, but everything's just resting, it's dormant, and underneath the ground there's loads of things going on. There's animals hibernating, but the trees are still pulling in all the water and the nutrients from the soil through their roots. They're still growing, they're cultivating everything that they need to, their seeds, things to make buds and flowers, fruit, whatever. They're all doing that in winter, and in spring we see the evidence of it, but we need the rest period in order to have the spring and the summer and all of these blooms and growth and the expansion we see from nature. We have to have the winter first. I always have to remind myself of this as well. I always need downtime too, but I grew up in a way where I was raised to not have downtime, so it's been an adult learning thing. So yeah, there's a reason for every season, including with you, to hibernate, rest, to let the new growth come. And underneath is a lovely quote, and I can't remember where I heard this, but it was in my head when I did the slow down, and it says, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is done." I think the original quote was, "Nature does not hurry, but everything is completed," or it's something slightly different, but it didn't fit on the card. Everything is achieved, completed, something like that. But you get you understand. And the card underneath that simply says, wild. I love this. And you can take that in quite a few different ways. You can take it with being in tune with nature. You could take it in the way of changing and going wild on something. So going off the beaten path, going through the thickets of bushes and trees, and you might have to cut through some thorny bushes to go off your path, but you're going wild, and yeah, maybe you could do it. You have to see what your question was and how it... I said I'd do 3 shuffles, so I'm going to do 1 more. So think of your question or your clarification. So conclusion for the viewers of this series, or just this video, for my audience. Ooh. Nice. So we have dance. Straightforward, yes? So depending on what you ask, this might be something that will help you move through something. We've had movement come up in earlier questions that you might have asked, or an earlier shuffle anyway. Dance. Take responsibility. So I'm not a professional when I did this, it just ended up on another line. And it says, see your role and take control. Take responsibility. See your role and take control in your role. Love that card, even though you might not always want to do that. And the last one, it's a little watermarked, but I think you can read it, is ask your ancestors with love. Ask your ancestors with love. I don't know if you're into automatic writing or dowsing or tarot or using a set of cards like this, but there are different ways to ask your ancestors. So often when I pull cards, I've just put them all back together. Often, underneath the deck was yin, feminine energy, which is about going with the flow to attract what you want rather than doing and making it happen. It's a more relaxed way, and it's about trusting and putting your faith out in the universe or whatever you believe in. If you want to say God or whatever powers that be, the energy that makes all this go, putting your faith in that, and also saying to that, yeah, I would like to end up here, and then attracting that to you rather than hustle culture. I'm sure you'll understand me. You can go into that deeper and I think there's people who speak about that. And we're in a yin phase of the earth as well. We've been in a very yang phase for a long time, and like you can see the evidence of it, the hustle culture we've had, and you think of like how the world has been focused on industry and production and doing and not of resting and not of living in tune with the earth, and then now we're moving into a phase where we are rewarded for being in tune with the earth and all of everything related to the earth and nature. And the more you can get into that flow, the more you'll be rewarded, rather than if you're working against it and if you're doing things that are against nature and against the flow of us all as a whole, of all earthlings, earth beings, and the earth itself, then you are going to have a harder time. It might take more effort and be more of a struggle for less results than you've been used to in the yang phase. But yeah, for me, I have been very yang, been do all my life, and learning to be in the yin is hard for me, but I am open and wanting to be in that phase and in tune with the earth. And I'm very lucky I even see that, because that's the first big step, right? If I see that, then at least I can aim for it. And all of these cards have been really related, actually, when you look at how they all tie into yin. So yeah, that was interesting. But if you have some route to ask your ancestors, I was going to say, so when I use these cards, I tend to just ask my guides in general. And I know some of my guides are my ancestors, but you can ask your ancestral team specifically. And again, you'd have to say something out loud. You can say it in your head, but you can ask a question, or you could write it down. So one thing I like doing is, whether it's my ancestors or you can kind of ask anyone in spirit form that you want to. I'll leave it to you to think of who you would want to ask, but you can ask your ancestors, and write the question, and then kind of listen or feel. So if you listen, you might hear something through your clairaudience, which is like your spiritual ears, I guess, and be able to write the answer down. Or if you feel something, you might feel a feeling that wants to come out in words, which I think that's clairsentience. And you might even see a vision of something if you're strongly more clairvoyant and less the other two. Everyone has like more prevalent ones than others. I'm a very visual person, but still when I write I hear. I don't really see much unless I'm asking for sight, I guess. Yeah, you'll know with practice, even if you don't know now, with practice you'll find out which ones are your ones where you get the most messages through. And you might not have much at first if you're not used to it, but if you keep going you might get a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. Yeah, but there are different ways to get more in tune with it. If you want to write down your dreams, that helps you get more in touch with that layer of yourself, because when you're asleep you are in theta. Oh gosh, I think it's theta. Where your brain's just more open to receiving messages. I get a lot of my messages as I'm falling asleep or waking up, which I've mentioned in another video. Yeah, you're welcome to go back over my other videos, because I'm going to start repeating myself soon, the things that come up again and again. But it's kind of nice that came up in the conclusion for this video series of the Imperfection challenge. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I hope you've had a interesting or useful or whatever you needed from this time in this series, and yeah, I wish you all the best, and I would happily welcome the same blessings from you if you feel like it. I'll see you online at a later date with some other topics. At the moment I'm feeling drawn to talk a bit about my past life memories and see if anyone resonates with those. And I have, just different kind of healing topics to kind of maybe kind of like tips that I might go into. But if you think I might know anything that you want to know more about, please feel free to ask me to do that. And if I go, maybe I know something, then I'll do a video on it. If you ask me to do something and I can't figure it out yet, it'll either be a delay in time or it might not happen, but you can ask and I will see. Yeah. So you're welcome to pick my brains anyway. I will have a go. So just over 42 minutes and 42 seconds it was then on this video, so time to wrap up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Honestly, thank you so much for being here with me on this little series and joining my sweet little community here online, and being part of my growth, our growth, and the channel's growth. And yeah, I do appreciate you being here. Thank you very much, and see you soon. You'll see me soon. Love to welcome you to another video, and do take care between now and then, although when you're watching it might be a minute later. Who knows? Right, take care, lots of love, and see you later. Bye.